a sort of crazy place following rising prices of virtually everything in the country. A hike in tuition fees in schools will definitely attract anger. The Academic Staff Union of University, ASUU, and students of the University of Lagos, Unilag, have kicked against increase in school fees payable in the institution, which is now between 100,750 naira and 190,250 naira per session. That's 1 year, depending on the courses of study for returning students. Medical and dentistry students are paying the highest. Fresh undergraduates will be paying between 126,325 naira and 190,250 naira, depending on their courses of study. And apart from hostel accommodation and various departmental levies, also the Unity Secondary School students will now pay 100,000 naira as tuition fees, following decision of the federal government to increase it from 45,000 naira. This is debatable, and since we've seen this, and some people have started saying, tertiary institution, that Unilag will be paying 100,000 naira, and saying that, oh, this is quite high. Some parents might not be able to to afford 100,000 naira from 19,000 naira.
You know, we politicize everything. When this thing came up, some people screamed, oh, Tinubu has come to kill us as a people. You know, first and foremost, the decision to hike those fees were made even before this administration came on board. If we check even the letters, the dates on them indicate clearly that this decision was taken before the coming of this administration. The only thing you can blame him for is that, oh, why didn't he reverse it? But what is there to reverse? We have a situation in which tuition fee in Unilag for 20 years remain just 19,000.
19,000.
And some parents, leave me. Some parents who are paying just 19,000 in a rarefied university like that, of that stature, they will pay 1 million for the same student to get accommodation just outside the school.
Just across
the school, 1 million as accommodation. It's the same thing happening in my school, my own school, University of Learning. People now have made so much money building hostels in the university area because they know that, okay, the school is not designed to accommodate every student on campus. The kind of money, 400,000, 500,000, the students are paying. But
when it comes to tuition
fees to 100,000, people are screaming. Some of these parents, their children who are in nursery schools, they tell them they want to do end of year party. They tell them bring 30,000 for end of year party. These parents pay. The school fees, the secondary schools, private secondary schools.
What?
They are, in fact, even in Ogun State, where I reside, the good private schools, the fees that parents pay are several times higher than what we are talking about here in a term. In a term,
not session, no. This was 90,000 per session.
Yes, in a term. In a term. I know what I'm talking about. Every opportunity, they hike the school fees. There is no term. Since my son got into, I don't want to mention the school now because they will now see me as an enemy. Since my son got into that school, every time the school fees has been increased. Either because of COVID or this, school fees has been increased.
School bus alone, I pay 120,000. School bus.
I stopped paying for school bus and feeding, thinking that by doing that, it will come down.
Oh, God.
You find yourself paying more than 200,000 in spite of that for a term. So 2 terms, that is about 400,000.
Yes.
And they said people should pay 100,000. This is for a session. No?
For a session, 1 year. 1 year.
1 year. And we said it's too high.
Exactly.
That is why government can't fund those schools. Because at some point there has to be even appropriate charges. We talk of, cost-effective tariff for electricity and all that. That if you don't do cost-effective tariff, there will be no investment in the sector. There has to be, even for the public schools, if we want those public schools to survive,
yes,
we must get them to pay, or get parents to pay more. It's not in Nigeria alone that this happens. Those who are sending their children abroad, education is expensive in the UK.
Very expensive.
Expensive in the UAE.
There is millions to go to school abroad.
So
millions, 8 million, 10 million.
Whether you are resident there or you want to go from here, it is expensive. It is not cheap. So, and look at even the Unity schools that they made so much noise about. Tuition is still free. It is
accommodation,
cost of boarding, and cost of buying books that they are factored into this whole thing. That they now decided, okay, let us put a little more.
They are still subsidized
heavily. Oh, if you're for a whole term, how much you're taking 30,000 naira maybe for a whole term accommodation. Before now, Lagos State, even its model schools, did they not increase? Because you have to feed those schools when they are in boarding house. You have to feed them.
You have to feed them. And to feed well.
If you don't feed them well, now they will complain. You are not complaining about what you are paying. Today, if you don't feed the students in those Unity schools, like King's College, they don't give them good food now. It will be on social media. Yeah. And all of these things are now very costly. So I believe that there's nothing wrong in government not substantially increasing, just minimally increasing the cost of
19,000 is not reality. It's not real at all.
It's not 19,000. What is 19,000?
With Nigeria of 2020. Again, when you want to look at it, if you go to a private school, private university in the same Nigeria, some people read medicine, go to schools like Afai Babala University, pay as much as 7 million naira per session.
Well,
so Unilag 190,000 now.
Ayo, you know you are talking to the right person. You are talking to the right person. Sincerely, I was shocked when I saw that news when it broke. I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it because let us put this across to you. We're saying Unilag. It is not Unilag. It is all federal universities. So that we don't pigeonhole it to that is only the circular. You know, everybody say it's Unilag. It's claiming they say it's Unilag. It is not. It's the same circular that Unilag received, that University of Ilorin received. The same thing that Federal University of Technology obviously. It is the same. It is the same circular because the VC said it. It is the same circular to all the that a university student in a federal university is paying less than $10 or $20 per annum. Is something I can't believe. Yes, we say education
per annum.
Yes, per annum. Yes, per session. We say yes, education should be subsidized. But is it like this? In fact, the transportation that takes you from where you are coming from to the Unilag is no more than 15,000. Yes, now look at it. When you price it, yes, now if you are going to school, you are going from home, and you are coming. Is it no more than that? Then I can personally also say that is why the standard for education also have been falling, because with this we are not attracting the best of lecturers. That is why lecturers are also complaining. Everybody is complaining. Look at it. Every day ASUU is saying this. Let us even look at the 100,000 naira. Somebody, we are talking of medicine. You rightly said it. Come to my university, you want to come and read medicine.
Read.
Yes. We are talking about how much you are talking about? Talking about 4 million. If you want to read law, the law that's I'm talking, you pay not less than 2.2 million, 2.5 million per session. That is per session. That excludes feeding. That excludes accommodation. So if parents are now saying that, no, I don't think this is justified. Nobody should right? The government has seen that education in Nigeria is one of the most highly subsidized across the globe. You can look at our people going to Ghana. No, just look at our people going to Ghana.
Public schools.
Public schools in Ghana.
Okay, I have a caller. Kazuka is calling us from Kaduna. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. How it works?
We are fine.
We are fine.
I'm Kazuka Amos calling from Kaduna. I want to comment on the Unity Schools issue.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I listened to my brother there, Mr. Babajide. Of course, what you are saying here is very, very correct. There are so many schools, private schools, and even public schools that are paying higher than that. But I want us to look at it from this angle. What is government actually subsidizing for the ordinary citizen? No subsidy in agriculture, fertilizer, no subsidy in petroleum, even the educational sector that we think we are benefiting. Subsidy now has been removed. Not everybody earns as high as Mr. Babajide is talking about. There are politicians, there are people like him that are privileged to pay this money. But some of us that are civil servants, receiving maybe 50 or 100,000 naira, having 2 or 3 students in unity school, how do you expect these people to cope? These are the things we need to look at. Agreed, this was not, I heard about this rumor even before President Tinubu came to office. But what we are saying is, look at the ordinary Nigerians. If we cannot subsidize education, for God's sake, what else can we subsidize for the masses?
Thank you, Kazuka.
This is my
Thank you.
Let me respond a little bit to him. Look at, I have the circular in respect of those unity schools dated 25th May. So first and foremost, it's not Asiwaju that started it. Uniform for JSS 1 and SS1 is 25,000. That's the uniform. Textbooks deposit 15,000. Now, what is highest there is boarding fee, 30,000. They will feed your children for a minimum of 3 months.
And accommodate them.
You know? So, it is 30,000. Feeding and accommodation, when they talk of boarding, it is it's collapsed together. 30,000. So 30,000. And you are still saying they've not subsidized. Even electricity that we use is still subsidized.
Yes.
That's why they've been trying to move it to what is called the cost reflective.
So that the private investors can
Yes, it's still subsidized.
get returns for their investment.
So he's asking that, okay, what is government subsidizing? I just read to you now, those unity schools, what they are saying,
accommodation and feeding.
If you are not a boarding student, if you are not a boarding student, you don't have to pay that 30,000. So this thing will come down. Stationery 1,000, ID card 1,000, sports, medical 2,000, vocational 1,000.
Medical.
Yes.
1,000.
You know, extra lesson 2,000 for a term.
A term.
When
1,000.
the people that I engaged to
private teachers
of my children,
yes,
I know how much I pay
Every month. Of course.
Teachers in Lekki, all those private teachers that people engage in.
Oh,
Do you know how much they earn?
Thousands.
Do you know how much? 200,000 just to give people extra lessons. So they are taking 2,000, and you are still saying they are not nothing is subsidized. Come on, it is until you find out before you know that indeed so many things are subsidized.
if you break it down, you will discover that it's, you know,
As I said, this is no brain at all, as far as this issue is concerned.
That's why there's no money to fund those.
School now.
The infrastructure
has collapsing. It's collapsing. So there is need. We need to. Education is not something we just take. We just look at something that it's government. It's not.
To invest heavily in education.
We must invest heavily in education, and we also must be able to help the government because these children are our children. They have to get the best of it. How come that we are having graduates now that are unemployable? That is what you ask yourself. How come we are having graduates that are not unemployable? Some of them, you see some of our graduates, the quality is not. How do we get the best out of when even the teachers, everybody is practically leaving the country because they are not being paid well? If you pay teachers properly, then they give the best. That is why you see most of the private secondary schools are doing very well because they're able to attract some level of teachers that are well qualified, and you cannot, and you give them good. You can attempt now. In the past, most of us, it was not the public school that all of us went to. We went to the public schools, but you cannot dare put any of your child in a public school now because you know what will come out of it. Nobody's ready to do that.
All right, we'll take this break.